Hey guys! Let's okay. Let's hope that's good enough. Please let me know in the chat if the sound is a little funny. But yeah, it's tomorrow morning. Let me put my headphones over here. It is tomorrow morning, and I've got breakfast. We've got Legos. So yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. Good morning, and happy first breakfast. In true form, I got the spiciest of tea. It's the Harney and Sons Hot Cinnamon Spice. My most favorite tea on the planet. Also in my bowl, I've got some egg whites and good morning, Mega Terranova. I kind of screwed up my my muffin a little bit. It kind of fell apart, but that is technically a muffin. Yeah. So good morning. I know some people are off to work. Some people are off for the holiday today, so thank you for joining me. Yeah. So anyway, so I actually have two sets of Legos to choose from today. I had a set that I thought that I put together. I don't know if I dreamt it or what, but I have two sets. First one my mom sent. Thanks, Mom. And it is the TIE Fighter. We got a Stormtrooper and all that fun stuff. And this one, if you remember, we did the X-Wing last time. And then so here's the TIE Fighter. And then me thinking that I did not have a kit for today, also bought the ATST, which I have been dying to buy for a while. And of course the highlight of this guy is that we have Chewie. So, yeah, what would you guys like to see today? Move my little Lego cup here. Just move this here for a moment. Okay, let me show you guys. So we got the ATST and we have the TIE Fighter. So a viewer's choice today on this one. Yep, this muffin is not quite as good as it normally is, but that's okay. It's a little too sweet and a little too dry. I think I put a little bit too much, like, swerve in it. It's okay, though. And it's still very cinnamony. Okay. I guess we'll do the TIE Fighter. Simply because that's the one I got first. But as soon as I am able to have another Lego stream, we will do the ATST. Alright. So, it looks like we've got this kind of hinged cockpit. And of course we have our Stormtrooper setup down here. Good choice. Yeah, I think it kind of makes sense. Like, I have a TIE Fighter up in the shadow box, so I guess it kind of makes sense that we need a TIE Fighter to go with it next. I had a really hard time deciding on which ATST kit to buy. There's like the one I bought, which is the like original, the Hoth one. There's also an Endor one, and then there's also like a Mandalorian one, and they're all a little bit different, and they're actually all slightly different colors too. Alright, hold on. Let me mute you guys. This is very loud. Okay. I'm gonna spare your ears today. Alright. Well, we've got, I think, 3 bags today. It's not quite as many pieces as the TIE Fighter, but that doesn't mean that it's not, like, you know, any more or less complicated. So I'm gonna get that closer for you guys so you can see. Yeah. You know, I've never actually, I think I showed you guys this last time, but I think this is really cool. It's a little bit like IKEA information where it tells you like which bag is going to build what. And I know my little trivet says, but first coffee. I could not find a really cute, like, equivalent tea trivet. Like, not trivet, spoon rest. So, yeah. If you guys find a very small, because it can't take up a lot of room, if you guys find a small tea spoon rest that I can put in my office, DM me on Instagram or Twitter, because it would be nice to have a more thematic spoon rest. I think I got the camera in a better spot today. This is about the best, this is still about the best depth of field I'm gonna have for you guys, at least with the camera I have now. Yeah. But I did get another alert from Twitch that I've gotten just a little bit closer to affiliate status, so I promise once this channel is sort of monetized, I guess, sort of, I will put those little pennies and nickels towards a better camera, and then I can use this guy exclusively as a face cam and then have a better camera for this kind of stuff so you guys can see a little more clearly. So I do believe we are building the cockpit first. Let me get some more breakfast here. I'm not used to being up so early anymore. I switched to second shift with my new job, so I'm like, I've worked graveyard for so many years, and now I'm like, oh, wait, I have to be awake now. Learning to like stay up to go to bed at an appropriate time has actually been one of the biggest challenges. Oh, hot. All right. I can't tell if you guys enjoy the sorting of the pieces or not. So, but it makes it easier for me to see what I'm working on. Ooh! We have another one of those, like, spring action pieces. There must be, like, torpedoes. So, anyway, I told you guys that I'm kind of always behind on everything Star Wars, even though I absolutely love it, because we don't own Disney Plus. But the other day I was getting ready to work since I'm doing remote work most of the time, and Mr. B comes home and he's like, I got a surprise for you, and I thought it was snacks. Which is not an unfair assumption, but I definitely was like, ooh, you brought me snacks. He was like, ooh, better yet. He was like, I got us Disney Plus and HBO. Because we had talked about like the future of our streaming services and what we wanted to do, since we're kind of missing out on some good stuff. And so I was like, well, maybe because I've had my own Netflix for so long, it's like one of those things where it's like, do I want to give it up? And then he was like, well, maybe I'll cancel my Netflix and then we'll get Disney Plus. And I was like, okay. And then like we didn't have and then like that conversation never continued. And it's not a serious conversation. It's just like, Anyway, so he comes home and he's like, I got this Disney Plus and HBO. And I was like, oh boy, never leave the house again. You know, like we leave the house so often anyway. So, hi guys, welcome to the stream. We are making an Imperial TIE Fighter today, and I've got some breakfast. So really unappealing muffin, I apologize, but that's just what it is sometimes. The only thing I think is different is honestly the recipe for the way I make my breakfast muffins, and I did make a double because I didn't eat dinner. But honestly, the way I make my muffins versus the way I make my oatmeal is almost identical, except I think the muffin has more oil in it and the oatmeal doesn't have oil, but it has collagen powder, which I don't know, I have to kind of laugh about, but collagen does make a pretty good like low carb like thickener for things. But that's pretty much the only difference. Like I use flax meal, and there's a company that makes like pretty like allergy safe foods like flours and grains and all sorts of cocoa powder and all that stuff called CARBs. They have an Amazon store, but you can also order from them. And I get their 5-seed mix, which is sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, 2 kinds of flax seeds, and chia seeds. And I just like run that through like the blender real quick to make it more fine. And that's literally what I make my oatmeal out of. Since I am disabled and I can't always go to the gym consistently, I needed to come up with a way that I could kind of make sure that I'm always at a like healthy weight without being entirely reliant on conventional exercise. So that's why I follow a pretty strict diet. So I promise I'm not one of those like people in that sense. Like I try not to be one of those people who like always talks about my diet, but I do get pretty excited when I find like duplicates for like common food things like the muffins and the oatmeal and that kind of stuff, while like still adhering to a fairly strict diet. So yeah, it is that is life sometimes, unfortunately. So but I did, because of the pandemic, I canceled my gym membership because it was like, I felt like they were constantly having to close because of like, you know, infection rates and stuff. And I was just like, it's not worth it. It's not even close to my house. It's like, why do that? And I can't run anymore, which is kind of a bummer because like running is like the free exercise. I used to run long distance, and so it's kind of like all this requires is I go outside. But that's unfortunately not an option anymore. So I was like, well, what can I do? Well, Mr. B has a Nintendo Switch, so I bought a fit ring for it. And that was good for a while, but I didn't feel like it was like challenging enough, especially for someone who used to run. I'm like, I gotta find like some kind of like aerobic activity that's like engaging. Like, there's a community pool and stuff, but like, you can't really do laps in a community pool the same way you can. And there's not like an indoor pool or anything I can join near me. Like not in my neighborhood, which is kind of a shame, because like even the community pool is only open for a couple months out of the year. So, and then I was looking for other things that I could do with the Switch, and I picked up a like boxing game with these like brass knuckle looking grips. And I've been doing that, and I kind of skipped last week because I've been doing some like pretty physically intensive like chores and things around the house, and working on our front porch. So I skipped last week, but it's, you know, not because I was being lazy. It's just I only have so much energy in the day, and a lot of my chores and stuff I do before I like sign into work, and I'm like, I can't autopilot my new job. Like, that's not a thing. It's very technical. So yeah. So I've been doing like chores in the morning, and then I take like a cat nap before work. So I can't, you know, do craziness every single day. But I am really loving my boxing game. I feel like I actually get a pretty decent aerobic workout, and I think I'm going to get more out of it the more and more I practice. I've never really done boxing. I did karate as a kid, and that was pretty fine. I wasn't great at it. I think I should say that I've taken like a bunch of self-defense classes in addition to karate, and I think I could probably hold my own in a serious situation. But in terms of like form and precision, yeah, like I don't think I could do any of the more like advanced katas and stuff like that. That's just not that's probably beyond me at this point. So they talked about maybe offering self-defense classes through my job, maybe next spring or later this year. So I will sign up for those, especially because as someone who walks with a pretty bad limp, and since I usually, when I leave the house for like the day, I take my cane with me, and I know that kind of makes me a target. When I stick close to home, I don't use my cane. I don't want, because if I use it too much, I notice my bad leg gets super atrophied really fast. And that's not something I want. I had surgery as a kid on that side, and it took like no time at all for my leg to be like, little leg. So I'm not doing that again. Not if I don't have to. Okay, didn't we have some of these like pieces? I don't know. I'm a nut. So anyway, but if you are in the situation where you have problems with the like lower part of your body, if you have a hip problem, if you have knee, or in my case foot and ankle problems, maybe aerobic boxing. And I feel like it's something that you can, like, you can't obviously do like the, you know, good morning Unforgiven, welcome to the stream. I'm talking about boxing. And we are, let me get this out for you. We are making a TIE fighter today. So I'm pretty excited. When the video comes out, be sure to thank my mom. My mom keeps me flush with Legos on the regular. I have to say, I have a really supportive family. I was like, hey, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to start streaming. And they were like, okay, what can we do? And I know some families, they're like, why would you do that? But no, my family's pretty cool. Sometimes they, aw, thanks, Unforgiven. She is like my biggest fan. She watches all the videos, even like some of my more head scratching like shorts and stuff. She's just like, you did good. It's like, thanks, Mom. I don't know if my dad follows my content. Like, he knows I make content, but he's not exactly the most like tech oriented person. So I like send him links to like my stuff, and he's just like, that's nice. And I don't know if he knows that I'm actually sending it, but that's okay. But so good morning, everyone. This is my mess of a breakfast. My muffin completely exploded coming out of the microwave. So yes. I will have to come up with a better way to make that style muffin. I think it has too many dry ingredients. Considering how much avocado oil goes in there, I still think it's too dry. But I put like coconut milk, like the unsweetened stuff in the refrigerated section. I put that in my oatmeal, and I'm wondering if my muffin wouldn't benefit from that. So. But yes, boxing. So like I said, if you do have limitations from like the waist down, I would seriously consider aerobic boxing, because so far it's working pretty good, and I can see even just in a couple weeks my form already looks better, and I feel like my shoulders are stronger. And since I do have a problem with slipping my shoulders very often, that was a problem for me in gym class, is I wasn't very good at doing pull-ups or like rope climbing because my shoulders will kind of slip out of socket. So that's that zebra life for you. And you know, it's really hard to convince a high school gym teacher that like you're not being lazy. Like literally I can feel something coming apart, but that's not their fault. They're not doctors. They're not, genetic specialists. They don't know that stuff. It's not their fault. Oh, all right. So I think we have all of our little pieces for our... I haven't seen the new movies enough times to have memorized like all the types of characters, but this is like the fancy pilot. This is the like actual pilot. I think they were white. I boxed from my Echo with the Wii, original Wii. Great exercise. Oh man, yeah. It like you wouldn't think that something that requires you to wrong wheelchair. Oh my goodness, don't box too hard, you might roll backwards. Alright, I think I remember that the stormtroopers, that like the actual pilots from the original trilogy, I thought they were white, but now to think about it, maybe they were red and black, because that was like Darth Vader's inner circle, and like the more skilled like Empire figures, I think they actually did wear like black and red. So he's got a very serious face. So I don't know if anyone can answer this question, but because I know the stormtroopers are all clones essentially, or eventually, that's... Get that my back was hurting a lot at my last job, and I kept telling my boss and coworker. They were like, oh, just a little bit of soreness from good work. Herniated disc. Oh my goodness, Unforgiven. I'm so sorry. One of the jobs I've had is I managed a shoe store, and I was attacked by a shoplifter, and I ended up herniating 10 of my lower 11 discs. The second one, because of the way it got pinned, wasn't herniated, but everything above and below above like my like your sacroiliac joint, where your like two butterfly shaped bones joined together with like your coccyx, and it was so painful. So, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. A lot of jobs, like, they're like, yeah, bend with your knees, but like that's not the only thing that you should be doing. And I don't think most jobs emphasize how much like overreaching can actually herniate discs too. Or twisting. Twisting's another one. Like lift and twist. It's so dangerous. I'm so sorry. That's awful. I would not wish back or knee pain on anyone. Back injuries are the worst, Megaterranova. It's so, because it's like, you know, when you're a kid, you sing the song where it's like your foot bone's connected to your ankle bone. Well, everything's connected to your back. So, yeah. And of course, like, because your back is basically just like a bundle of cables, you know, you can hurt something in the middle of your back and you're like, oh, okay. But then, like, you know, any kind of swelling or pressure, your like fingers can go numb, your toes can go numb. It's like, that's dangerous stuff. All right. Got all of our pieces from bag 1 and the little, you know what, honestly, because so many of them were like skewed, it's kind of hard to know. I feel like once one is in the way, like, I don't know. But I also had like damaged my pelvis in the process. The person was obviously on something to like freak out and react that way. They were stealing, and of course, like most, you know, companies, you know, to thwart shoplifting, you're supposed to provide the best world-class service available. And, you know, for some people it makes them nervous and they kind of just skitter away, but this person just kind of freaked out, and I went flying into a particle board display. And when I went to the emergency room, the ER doctor asked how fast I was driving my motorcycle, and I was like, I wasn't. So, but I feel like because it's all the same amount of pressure, at that point, I can't imagine that one is so exponentially large, because like the amount of pain a slip disc causes anyway, you know, and because when you slip a disc, it's not just your disc, it's all the soft tissue, it's all the muscle around it. So yeah, I don't think it's comparable. I think once you've slipped one disc, it's painful. Anything else is just, you know, the toy surprise at the bottom of the cereal box. So, I would never assume that my back injury hurt any more than yours did. And thankfully there was, you know, my workers' comp claim went through appropriately, since there was, you know, security footage. So I had my PT paid for, and I ended up getting put in traction for a while to avoid surgery. And honestly, as painful as that was, I didn't have to have surgery, which would have been way worse. So eventually, so they just kind of rigged me up, and eventually all my discs kind of realigned, and I saw an osteo specialist who was able to literally manipulate my pelvis back into place, since I was young enough when it happened, which avoided having like a horrible like hip surgery basically. So yeah, like if you can imagine your two like ilia, mine, so this, it's always weird with the camera, mine was pulled back and in because of the way I hit the particle board. So she was able to over time kind of pull it back and actually like straighten my leg. So, but people forget about that. People forget that like if you have a manual job where you're doing a lot of lifting, twisting, bending, climbing, or just things are going to go wrong. Like, I'm pretty sure the human body was not meant for that repetitive, motion. I'm not sure what you were doing for your job, but it's really easy to get hurt. And people just kind of dismiss it as like, oh yeah, work hurts. And it's like, it shouldn't hurt that much. Honestly, it's been so long. It's healed pretty good. I was taken care of by a really good, PT group, but I'm hoping that you receive good care as well, because I can't imagine, like, especially like in my circumstance, they knew that I had an injury. They knew it because they had the security footage to see it. But what you're telling me is that your boss and coworkers were like, "You're fine. You're being a baby," and this is work. Work hurts, and that's crap. That's absolute crap. All right. Okay, so this is where the torpedoes. This is like the little spring action guy. Or it does a pitmaster and kitchen. Ooh, kitchens. Heavy meats back and forth. Man, food service is rough. Some of you know that I used to work in a commercial bakery, and I used to have to unload the dry goods from the loading dock and like put them away in the bakery, usually by myself. It's hard work, and meat is cold and cumbersome. Ugh. And you're right, like when you're a good manager, you're always the person who has to pick up the slack, whether you have someone on your own team who's injured, if someone calls out, or you're just stretched a little thin, you're the person, you're the guy. And that's just what it comes down to. It stinks, but unfortunately that's what it is to be a good leader, is to set an example. So I feel like in a way it's kind of like why a lot of new dads gain weight with like their first kid, is because it's like, oh, you're trying to get your baby to eat new food. If they don't eat it, then you end up finishing it off, and then you're always finishing it off, and then you put on the weight. So it's kind of the same way when you're a manager, where it's like, well, if somebody else isn't doing the work, then you have to eat it, so to speak. Yeah, Mr. B kind of has a recurrent back injury too. He works in food and ag just like I used to, and he's a manager. And he kind of has this, unfortunately, because he's tall, he, not everything is meant for him, so he ends up having to like stoop while he works sometimes, which is really dangerous. But the world is not meant for anyone who is not like, I don't know, 5'8". I feel like everything is meant for someone who's just like middling height, and that's it. But he, early on in that job, he suffered a twisting injury, and every once in a while it just gets really angry. So we're putting these little gray pips on. This is actually a little hard to see on the instructions because it is definitely like dark gray on gray. Now, I'm hoping that you at least have some time off today to do something. I know in the food industry, especially like restaurants, you end up working a 6-day work week pretty often, and that's awful. The body's not meant for that. Alright. I'm trying to figure out where this goes. Okay. So it goes here. Oh, you're doing DoorDash now. I mean, I know DoorDash comes with its own stuff, you know, and it has its own heavy lifting and things depending on kind of the area you work in. Oh, you're having a cookout today. That's good. So you're doing DoorDash or you do your PT. I'm glad to hear it. I actually know quite a few people who have gone to doing like gig work like that. Just because because you don't have to justify having back pain to a coworker or boss or any of that nonsense. Did I do this wrong? I feel like I skipped a step here, guys. Oh, you know what? I think these aren't far back enough. Ah. Yeah, I, since I have the 3-day weekend, which I had to ask my, new boss, 3 times. I was like, wait, so we're off on Monday? And she's like, yes. But she used to work in a, 24/7 industry, too, before working where we do now, and I'm not used to it. I'm like, what do you mean I actually get to enjoy the bank holiday? I'm not used to that, so... So for anybody who hasn't worked in a 24/7 hour industry, remember if you stop by a grocery store or, gas station or that kind of thing, be nice to people. Service workers rarely get time off, and certainly if you're playing with fireworks and you go to the ER, you make sure to thank your ER staff too, because they definitely don't get time off either. So... I mean, it's a holiday and bright and early. I could hear, the garbage man came, the recycling came today to pick up the recycling. So, there are just some folks who don't get holidays. Okay, this tool is amazing. I wish I had it when I was a kid. There we go. I didn't have these little guys push far back enough. But I think it's time for more breakfast. I don't think I really have a plan for today. When Mr. B gets home, we're gonna play some 7 Days to Die. When it gets a little bit warmer, I'm just gonna open up all the windows and enjoy the day. So is this the... Okay. 6 pieces, or it's right in here, and then we have those 2 weird, yeah, these guys. Food industry has humbled me a lot. people like emergency workers and even glass clerks, bless them all. Absolutely. Absolutely. In my last industry, since I worked in food and ag too, I didn't have to work every Christmas, but there was one year where, again, because I had actually sprained my chest. I had picked up containers and I had twisted, and it was just enough, and because I have EDS, I'm more inclined to have soft tissue injuries anyway, but I partially dislocated 2 of my floating ribs, and I sprained and basically ended up with a wear and tear sprain across my chest, and it just wasn't healing, so I had to go and have a chest x-ray. And of course, if you've ever had to have like rushed imaging, rushed lab work, sometimes insurance doesn't cover that. Even, you know, even if you're fortunate enough to have insurance in the US, sometimes it just doesn't pay for things. And it caused a big drama because it meant that, like, I had to travel for Christmas on Christmas Day, because I knew if I had volunteered to work for Christmas, if I had to pay for those chest x-rays, I would just have the cash for it and I wouldn't have to worry. And, you know, it's hard for people when they really don't understand that kind of life. I worked for 15 years. I worked every Thanksgiving, every Easter, every 4th of July. So yeah, definitely different compared to a lot of industries. And that's just like ag. That's not even like you said, like working in the medical profession. People often forget about like the vets and veterinary nurses that work holidays too, because if your dog or cat is going to eat something stupid, it's going to happen on a holiday where regular vet offices are closed, and then you just have to go to like an emergency hospital. Couple months ago, we had a really bad windstorm here, and power was knocked out all across the city. And, you know, I have that like neighborhood app, like a lot of people have, because, you know, part of it is you want to know what's going on, but I'll admit sometimes I get to be a digital looky-loo, and people were complaining it was taking so long to get the power on. And it's like, first of all, it's still pouring rain. And they're up in those like crow's nest things, like trying to get our power on. Like, how can you complain about people working hard like that and doing something so dangerous? I don't know, I come from a family where almost everyone had to work holidays, so holidays just kind of happened when they could. I don't know. I think we're building an engine. Oh my god, my voice just went out. No! There we go. This is why I normally try not to indulge in the urge to like record after a stream on Sundays, even though it's a good day to get extra work done for the week, because this happens. Okay, so I have to make 2 of these. There we go. So let's do it again. Take this guy. I like how I'm slowly feeding my stomach and it's still like complaining. I'm like, I don't know what you want from me. You've been fed. Okay. I forgot what the next step was. I think this goes next. I'm like looking at the pieces. I know I am. And oh, I have them flipped upside down. I love the TIE Fighter. The TIE Fighter was my first ever Star Wars Lego build. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know, there's something really calming about this, I guess. It's funny, it's like Legos are made for kids, but you really can't afford them till you're an adult. I put this on backwards, I think. Uh-oh. I definitely put this on backwards. Not gonna pretend like I'm not easily distracted. Oh, I like a hair on my little craft mat. I'm really excited because now that Mr. B has got us set up with Disney Plus, not only can I watch the Boba Fett episodes that are out now, it also means we get to watch the new show that's coming out this summer too. So I'm pretty stoked for that as well. But I love it. It's like all the stuff that's like, oh, that's kid stuff. And it's like, well, you kind of have to be an adult to afford kid stuff. What? It's weird because, you know, with everything that's gone on the last 2 years, we haven't gone anywhere. But in 2019, he took me to Disneyland for the first time. I had never been to a Disney park, and they were actually building Star Wars Land while we were there. So we went on like the 3D ride that was there, but I'm hoping that by the time we can go back to Disneyland, we'll be able to enjoy the Star Wars Land. So I know you guys can't see it, but I'm California. I'm wearing my Lap It Up Fuzzball t-shirt today. Yeah, since we live in kind of central California, we can just take a bus to Anaheim and like not drive anywhere. I think next time we're just gonna take a plane just because it's not that much more expensive. Oh, you do just watch Obi-Wan parts 1 and 2. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, no, we literally took a bus to Anaheim, and then like from the bus station they have like all the like trolleys and not really trolleys, but they look like them, but the little shuttles that look like trolleys, and they have like an entire bus loop that goes to all the hotels. I'm so stoked for it. I'm holding off till they finish the season. I love Ewan McGregor. Yeah, me too. Like, what a perfect pick for like young Obi-Wan. That was probably Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan and Sam Jackson as Mace Windu might be my favorite characters from the like second trilogy. I don't know if you're like this, if I'm forgiven, but I have this thing where I really have a really hard time watching a show like week to week. If there's a show out, I want to watch it. I want to watch it now, and I want to watch all like 9 hours of it at one go. Just give me all of it. I was like that with, it was really hard because, oh my goodness, what is the name of the show? Invincible, even though it's on, Amazon, it only releases once a week, and I'm just like, it's so good, so you don't want to wait, but like, then you have to wait. Oh, Liam Neeson is Qui-Gon Jinn. Yeah, that was kind of a nice introduction to like, kind of, oh, so we get to meet young Leia. That's cool. That makes... So is young Leia anything like more mature Leia? Because she's not very old in A New Hope. Because I know they cast... Well, she doesn't play, you know, young Leia, but they did cast Billie Lourd in the third trilogy. So, she's 10. Yeah, I think by 10, like, you really do get to see, like, a child's personality. Like, bits and pieces of who they're going to be when they grow up. Although, there's some kids that just have, like, a really strong personality early on. Like, my middle niece, who is now, like, a proper tween, she definitely, like, you knew from the day she was born exactly who she was going to be. And I love it. So, like, now that she's, like, old enough, we can play video games and stuff. Sometimes she pops into the streams, which is nice. But, yeah. A couple of my nieces and nephews stop by from time to time. Here we go. Oh, it's coming together. I think this is like the seat for the cockpit. Oh, oops. Well, I'm glad you guys like hanging out with me doing Legos. I know there's a lot going on today. I know like John Wolfe and some other like bigger names are doing fundraisers today. If I was a little more organized, I think I would have too, but honestly, I wasn't sure if I was going to have to work overtime or not for work, so. Taking you with me to the garden. Aw. Are you doing regular garden work, or... I should probably build these like they want me to. Okay. I have some herbs coming this week to put out in boxes, so... I don't know, because like my plants kind of just like did not make it when I moved into Mr. B's house. It was just like, okay, Well, maybe I don't have a green thumb, but one of my hanging plants did hold on, and now, like, there we go. So I'm trying to, like, last year I did some workout on our porch, and now I'm doing some more. So I took our like bench apart and painted it white. It's like a cheap like shower bench that I bought last year because I didn't want to invest in a piece of furniture if I didn't think it was honestly gonna make it through the winter. And it made it. So it's just like an inexpensive like bamboo shower bench. So I took it apart and cleaned it up really good, and I painted it with like outdoor paint. And now it's dry and it's cured. So I'm hoping that my other plants come this week. So we do have a problem because it is Central California and it does get very hot and dry. So we have a problem with really aggressive yellow jackets in the summer. So I never spend time outside, and I would prefer to because the mornings are beautiful. So I got some lemon, thyme, and spearmint to plant to hopefully act as deterrent plants, but nothing that's going to be toxic to like the neighborhood animals and stuff. Let's see. Planting and transplanting lavender. Sanding picnic bench while I have help. Yeah. Some of those projects you do want to have some help for. Yellow jackets are buttholes. You are correct, sir. Or madam. Yeah. I don't know what it is. You know, like, I'm pretty sensitive to bees, so I generally kind of avoid them. But, like, bumblebees, honeybees, carpenter bees, they're kind of just, like, fuzzy and cute and, like, chunky, and they're good pollinators. But, like, yellow jackets and wasps are not great pollinators, especially since they're carnivorous. I mean, they do pollinate some, but like not to the same degree. Uh-oh. Hope I didn't get my pip stuck. Wasps aren't too bad here. I mean, they'll kind of bump into you and get angry, but like they're not the worst. Oh no, I did it again. I think every like bee I've ever been stung by, they've all been yellow jackets, I think. So, yeah. Okay. Did I miss a piece? Oh yeah, do you guys have those like mean paper wasps? I hear that they have like some of the like most painful like venom. I think they make like several like top 10 lists of like most painful venom. My great-grandmother on my mom's side, she had like a preserved paper wasp, like, hive. It was like both fascinating and also like super scary. In general, wasps aren't quite as territorial, but like If you get too close to their hive, they will start to freak out. Good deal of hornets. Might be paper wasps because they're like, yeah, we have hornets here actually. So I live in Central California, and one of the big universities here is CSU Sacramento, and their mascot is a hornet, and I'm like, maybe don't embrace that. You have an amazing story about being stung by a red wasp. Amazing? Oh my goodness. I once got stung by a dead yellow jacket, so I don't think that's amazing, but I think it's kind of funny. My high school had uniforms, but every other Friday, seniors had like casual day, and we were allowed to wear sandals if it was like really hot, and I had these like flip-flops that just made like the cut for being appropriate for school, and they're made out of this like netted material. I got in my car, felt a pinch inside my pants. Once I brushed my pants, I saw it come out. For context, my door handle was broken. It was like slow-mo. I looked at it, looked at my friend, and jumped across him out of his door, and he bailed out too. Oh, goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, their stingers are really long and very sharp. Like, I believe it. I believe it. Oh my goodness. I bet your friend was like, oh my god, what's happening? At least you weren't, like, driving. Like, oh my goodness. I feel like that's super scary. I'm kind of sensitive to bees, but I've yet to have, like, a really scary allergic reaction to one. But, like, I'm cautious because they've made me sick before. I'm like, that's gotta be so scary, like, especially driving somewhere here or in the south where it gets very hot. And of course, like, yellow jackets and wasps frequently sting when they're thirsty, and because they're looking for moisture. And I'm like, can you imagine, like, driving with, like, a wasp or a yellow jacket in your car? That'd be horrifying. Ugh. But anyway, so I'm wearing these sandals that are like a mesh. Think of like one of those plastic shower loofahs, but hard and like molded into a flip-flop sole. So they had like a double sole, so they're thick. They were fine for like wandering around during the day, and like you don't stand all day in school. Anywho, so I'm walking around, and all of a sudden I have this like super sharp pain in my foot. And like my foot turns red and gets really swollen. So I go to the nurse's office, and here there was a piece of a yellow jacket stinger inside the mesh of my flip-flop. I had actually crushed a yellow jacket a couple days before under my flip-flop, and the stinger must have gotten stuck inside the mesh. So days later, the venom was still active in the stinger. I got super sick from it too. It was like having the flu. Guys, I think you missed a step. What are those? Are they like stacked up on top of each other? No. Okay, I know I'm not crazy, but between steps 32 and 33, this becomes this. Let me look at my pieces and figure out what happened. It can't be these, right? No, these go somewhere else, so it's not those. That's actually one of my first fears because I have a bit of a phobia. Can't deal with Charis hunters in Skyrim, so if I'm driving and see one, I'm scared because I don't know how I'll react. Yeah, oh my goodness. And you know, honestly, now that I think about it, wasps do have that like really articulated body, and it does kind of look like a Charis hunter. Now that I think about it, that is, and they have like that weird, because like yellow jackets kind of keep their legs close to the thorax, but wasps, they kind of dangle. This piece is down near the, oh, like the vents where they can just like come in. Actually, in Mr. B's old truck, his truck actually sat for a while because it needed some repair. So while we were waiting to get into the shop, yellow jackets started actually started forming a little hive inside the door of his truck. And it was only a couple days and they started making a nest. It was really scary. I have no idea what pieces those are. Oh, okay. This is weird. Okay, let me show you guys. This is nuts. So, this is actually like, oh, I don't know if I can hold this up right. They're actually like this, but the way the shadow is on the instructions, it doesn't look right. Yeah, I've actually always been a little bit wary of like yellow jackets and wasps and things that build nests inside a vehicle. Like, I know in the South you guys have brown recluse spiders, and out here we have black widows. Now, black widows are pretty like, well, they're kind of like recluse spiders where they don't want anything to do with humans, but when confronted with a human, they will fight you. You know, they're this big, but they're gonna fight you. And I know people who have like wintered like a vehicle, like their fun vehicle, like a convertible or something, and have come back in the summer to find out the black widows have taken over their convertible. Like, that's terrifying. We rent a house, and you know, our house comes with a shed. And when I first moved in, I had put some stuff in the shed, like, you know, tubs of camping equipment and that kind of thing, like, you know, like the big Rubbermaid tubs. And I really haven't been back in there, and it's been literally years, because I know there are black widows in there, and yeah, no thank you. We went in there once to get something and like never again, because like I said, they're like this big and they will straight up charge at you, especially like the females. They're really territorial, and it's like they don't care that you're like a million times bigger than they are. They will come for you. Oh, you've been bit by a brown recluse. And even quit getting treated. I still have like a dime size scar on my thigh. My best friend has, who's from like, you know, the kind of like the Mason-Dixon area, has like a scar. Oh my goodness. Dime size scar. Does yours like divot a little bit? Because I know his on his arm does. Brown recluse aren't native to California at all, but because of people like me who have moved west, we have actually brought them with us in our like moving boxes and stuff. And so now there's like, you know, we have invasive, yeah, just a little, the best way to describe it, those things, but it is, their venom is necrotic. Nasty stuff. Like, people have lost entire limbs because of those things. They're so nasty. But yeah, no. Those of us moving west, we have brought brown recluse with us. Now, I thankfully grew up in a slightly colder area of PA, so I don't think I brought any with me, and I'm sorry to other Californians if I did. But I know people moving from, like, the south and stuff, they, that is a problem. So here, like, more northerly, we have black widows, but in the south, like in the desert areas, they have brown widows. And they have, as it's been, you know, with climate change, brown widows are actually moving north as well, which is super terrifying. I'm like, well, we only need one super aggressive spider, so thanks for that. But in the south, they also have like tarantulas and scorpions, so hard pass on all of that. So I live, so in the like the Central Valley is kind of like on the same, is that longitudinal, latitude? I think it's longitudinal level as like Virginia. So that's kind of what our weather is like. Do you know those invasive Japanese spiders there? Oh no, but I heard that they're in the south. They're not venomous, but I'm pretty sure they eat like aphids and stuff that other like native insects need for survival. So that's kind of scary. We have a couple schools here that do like studies of that kind of stuff, like my, you know, sort of like human driven like migrations. So USF, Berkeley, and UC Davis, they all have really great like natural science programs, and I frequently read like articles from those schools because they have such interesting like information about like invasive species, not just here in California, but like in, you know, in North America. And that's just interesting. I know growing up in PA, I saw the invasion of those like Asian stink bugs. They would come in on produce, and like what's amazing is they're not suited for the environment at all. So they're kind of dumb, I guess is the best way to put it. And they like kind of just stumble around, but they make this weird like scratching sound when they move around because their carapace is so hard and sharp. So like randomly you'll just hear something fall on the floor and it's this like stink bug. I've seen a couple of them out here in the last maybe 8 years. I've seen them, not as frequent, and I'm guessing actually this environment, although it's a little dry, is probably more suited to them just because like it is warmer, and like Pennsylvania and New York, New Jersey, it's actually too cold for them. But since they come in on produce, you really can't stop them from coming in. So Mr. B said that at work he frequently encounters like dead tarantulas and scorpions because he off-stacks freight, and some of it includes like produce, and he said he frequently finds like dead dead tarantulas and scorpions because of produce coming from like Southern California or Mexico. He's not keen on bugs. For a guy who grew up in the country, he does not like bugs. Yeah, the stink bugs are really creepy and they're dumb. They're so dumb. We're getting there, guys. A lot of little pieces. I know, like, gender roles would dictate that he should be the one to handle, like, the creepy crawlers in our house, but that is, we both hate creepy crawlers. Grass spiders are fine, wood spiders are fine, as long as they like, keep it to the kitchen. Kitchen's fine, because they eat, like, gnats and stuff. But otherwise, they don't belong, like, on the ceiling of our bedroom. And since we both hate insects, to avoid fights, we came up with a rule very quickly into living together. We keep a leg count. And we keep the scales balanced by how many legs of critters we have disposed of. So, centipedes get you more. Flies get you less. So right now, I do believe we are at a net 0 because we've both killed spiders in the last week. But last summer, I got one of those big fuzzy centipedes with the really long fuzzy legs, and so I was ahead for quite a while. It's very, very mature of us. It is an interesting game to play. 2 winters ago, we ended up with rats under our oven because during a bad flood, it actually damaged the crawl space, the thing that like closes over our crawl space under our foundation, and then came up through our oven, like through the around the gas line, which was scary in and of itself. We got rid of them, but it was again, like, whoever gets more legs. So we had traps down and we just have to take them out and stuff, but it was just like, so yeah. But I'm way more afraid of rats than I am like insects. But yeah, that was pretty scary. So I just kept buying more and more rat traps. I still have rat traps, and we don't even, worry about them anymore. Exterminator came out a couple times. Management sent out the handy person, and they fixed our, like the door for our crawl space. And then, yeah. Ugh, never again. Ugh. But yes, if you are not keen on insects and your partner is not keen on disposing of insects, it's a good game to play. Kind of keeps the balance of responsibility much more equitable. We also kind of do this thing where we like get really competitive with chores. So like, you know, he comes from work and I'm like, I did this, this, and this today. And he's like, well, I got up this morning and I did this, this, and this. So he's ahead right now because he, I washed sheets yesterday, but he made the bed. So he like put it, I feel like making the bed is more time consuming and frustrating than taking the sheets off and washing them. So I'm like, I just made them clean. Guys, we're running out of pieces for bag number 1. This is very exciting. Okay. Yeah, got it right on the first try. It was like the Lego like tile things. Hey Giraffe, welcome to the stream. We are making an Imperial TIE Fighter. We are on bag number 1. So we are almost done with the cockpit. We were talking about creepy crawlers. I love the look of the TIE Fighter. Me too. I actually like the look of the TIE Fighter more than the X-Wing. It seems more believable, maybe because it looks more like an escape pod. So at about 9 o'clock my time, I do need to step outside and get my medicine bag, because it is that time of day. And I don't think you guys want to hear the dulcet tones of me like huffing my inhaler. Oh, look at this. Okay. So this goes... Oh, it's always amazing where I'm just like, oh, look at that. That's how that goes together. Well, Giraffe, I hope you're having a super fun day. This is like the first Memorial Day I've ever had off from work because we have bank holidays with my new job. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of work to, you know, to greet me when I get back to the office tomorrow though. So there we go. It's a little cockpit. Oh, that is it. So, I feel like my little jar of extras that's getting very full. And also I've been nursing my breakfast. I have some egg whites and a very disappointing muffin that I am solely responsible for making. All right, bag number 2. Actually, this is a good place for me to go and grab my medicine bag, and I will be right back. All right, and I'm back. Asthma meds on board. We're good to go. And spicy tea. The best tea. Alright, so I guess we'll put our cockpit to the side here and keep on going. Bag number 2. Oh, crinkle, crinkle. Everyone loves it. Trying to remember to use the mute button for stuff like that. I forget that I have a mute button sometimes. All right. Wow, okay, I don't think we've ever seen ones this long before in any of our other projects. So yeah. So I've been thinking, and like I said, in the last 2 weeks, I'm going to figure out how to do a poll, like down here in the corner for our normal Sunday streams, and figure out what game are we going to play next. I would say that Skyrim is probably going to take us to the end of the summer, but I don't know what's going to happen after that. So I don't know if you guys want me to do... I've talked about doing build specific for doing a werewolf, build specific for doing a vampire, and then whatever side that Bellari takes in the Civil War, we'll make a character to do the opposite. But I'm looking ahead to what game will replace Skyrim on Sundays. I'm open to suggestions. I'm more inclined to play like the big AAA games on Sundays because I feel like the format is better for like just sitting down and like, let's just knock out some games. I do think at the end of this stream, I am going to test out to see how 7 days runs on Twitch. That's the reason Twitch is kind of the reason that I haven't played Ark on stream, because Ark is a particularly not optimized game. But if 7 days runs all right, I'll put that in the mix. I've considered, of course, Oblivion. Seems like natural progression, another Elder Scrolls game. And then yesterday, Waffles was talking about Alien Isolation, and I do own that in several formats, in fact. So that could be a possibility if you guys might be into that. That would definitely be a sneaky game, and since I've never had the courage to finish it, it would kind of be like accountability, playing it for you guys. There's also a new game coming out, hopefully in Q3, called like Return to Eden or something. And that's an open world crafty game, which of course you guys know I love that stuff. But it's supposed to be like relaxed. So it's supposed to be like like an opportunity to like kind of commune with nature in that sort of scenario. So that's also something to think about. Definitely helps with the asthma, but my inhaler gives me such... They had to change my inhaler when I switched insurance, and I'm back to like new inhaler tinnitus, and I'm not loving it. But I guess as long as it does the job, it does the job. So, you know, I'm open to suggestions from you guys. I know my computer can't handle like Cyberpunk. I know it can't. So, but I am trying to keep options open. There's a couple games I've wanted to play with a longer format for a while. So you think of it. I'll try to figure out how to put a poll up for you guys. Because I mean, if I pick a game you guys aren't interested in, like, that's not fun. So, but I figure once we're done with the TIE Fighter, I will try to get 7 days set up just so we can see what it looks like and how it runs. I've been watching, because you guys know that I really enjoy, like, the Neebs guys. I really like Glock 9, and through Glock 9, I came upon 3 channels, all ladies, and they do, like, this, they did this series called, like, Girls Night Out. And it's 3 women. It's Lainey, Liz, and Daphne, and of course they each all have their own channel. And I'm absolutely just, like, loving their play styles so much. Also, it gets me really excited when I see, like, other women gaming. Like, I know there's other women who game, but, like, I don't know. I think because I'm a little bit older and I came up through, like, kind of a different range of games than some people. Like, I didn't play Mario, I didn't play, like, Zelda, I didn't play Final Fantasy. It just wasn't what I ended up being exposed to. Like, the first game I remember, like, learning to play was Doom. Like, you know, for better or worse, that's just my experience. So, it's just different. So, like, I got to play Half-Life when it first came out, and Alien vs. Predator, which was really hard, and I never finished it. Nothing like a game that's basically all black, especially if you're playing as, like, one of the Marines. So, like, I have friends that play, some of my lady friends do play video games. We just play different stuff. So, you know, I've played some crafting sims and quite a few FPS games. So, that's just kind of how it has turned out. I think part of it is FPS games are most similar to, like, tabletop RPGs in the way you build your characters and develop your skills. So I think it is kind of a comfort place for me. Like, it's what I know, it's what I'm familiar with. Really like Dragon Age. I absolutely love Diablo. So if that gives you kind of an idea of where my flavor tastes are at. Not gonna lie, I have played a boat ton of, like, Dynasty Warriors. Because if I want a smashy game, like, I don't want anything that's super complex. The big battle royale games just don't hold a lot of interest for me. The only Assassin... yeah. I have played some Assassin's Creed. Dynasty Warriors is absolutely, I do believe, now I haven't played any of the new ones. I did play 4 through 8, and I have to say that 5 was kind of always the sweet spot for me, because I think it had the easiest, like, UI, to engage with. I think it had the right amount of story. But it was, like, pre-Dynasty Warrior 6, which had that awful Renbu system. Also, I think 6 just introduced too many, like, I know it's going to sound ridiculous, and it introduced too many fantasy characters, since up to 5, most of the characters were people who really existed. I did try playing Samurai Warriors, but at the time having much less familiarity with like feudal Japan, I just didn't appreciate it. PS2 had 4, 5, and 6. 4, you had more like sort of minions that followed you around, kind of as like weird NPCs. And then 5 was much more polished. Yeah, absolutely. I think there is a point. Well, and especially because of like the nature of that game, you kind of have to add like characters or whatever. I actually really liked Dynasty Warriors Empires, which was because Dynasty Warriors also had Dynasty Tactics 1 and 2, and those were like Risk sort of style games, Civ style games, but they definitely lacked some polish. And then came Empires, and Empires was great because there was a lot of like, you still got that on the ground like fighting game, but you also had a lot of like, it would also like scale back, and you could see like tactics. So if you played as like Shu, you as Liu Bei, and then eventually as oh gosh, what was his son's name? Anyway, you basically were like, okay, we're reclaiming the lands of Shu, and you'd have to move around taking territories just like in Risk or in Civ, but you would have these basically like cutscenes where you engaged in ground combat as well. I really liked Empires. I thought Empires was probably, even though it wasn't my favorite, I honestly think it was the best the series I had to offer. Just because like really when you think about the Three Kingdoms period, it was tactics. It was like the development of new fighting techniques, and of course, like Yue Ying was a real woman. She was a real aristocrat, and we really have her to thank for the development of some really early military technology. So for me, those sorts of stories are very interesting. I understand that like Zhuge Liang, is kind of held as like this very mystical sort of person, but honestly, the things that made him seem mystical were because he was educated and he knew how to read weather patterns, and he really understood the psychology of warfare, which I think was something that really was just developing at that time. So there are very interesting sorts of characters from that era. I think at some point I would like to revisit Samurai Warriors, just because like now I've had the opportunity to learn a little bit more about like feudal Japanese history, and I think I would have a greater appreciation for it. Sorry, I can talk about Dynasty Warriors all day. I can talk about Dynasty Warriors almost as much as I can talk about Elder Scrolls, so. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. Do you remember who your favorite characters were from Dynasty Warriors? Lubu, the like, he was like raised by Deng Zhuo and fell in love with one of the courtesans, Dao Chan. He definitely was like a rogue agent. And then there were some people who like kind of worked for two sides. And ARC. You can listen to ARC all day. If I remember, I've been watching some ARC and 7 Days lore videos that have been pretty good. I'll try to remember to link some of those in some upcoming posts. Okay. Let's see. Who else was like really cool? Gosh, I would have to look them up, but there's like the whole faction from the south, which I think would be like Vietnam, Cambodia, more of the like Southeast Asian, like more tropical countries, because I know that like the Soon, I know the Soon family had like invaded them, and Wei and Soon had like fought over those factions. Oh, Zheng Liao, yeah. Zhang Liao was very cool. But he was like, I think he was like a relative of two families. Like I think there were a couple instances where people kind of, they're part of both. Wei Yan was another one. And I think actually like his family is actually from the south, so he kind of had a different sort of vested interest. Alright, so we're gonna take one of these. It's weird, I haven't played Dynasty Warriors in several years, but like, oh gosh, it's still in my brain somewhere. That's an 8. I think we're looking for a 6. Oh yeah. Yeah, Wei Yan was the one that had like almost a more like capoeira like fighting style. If you remember like Tekken Tag, he kind of has a similar combat style to Eddie. Gosh, I'm dating myself. Yeah. Because like at various times he sides with either Soon or Shu. Because like really his interests are his family in the south. So, yeah. Gosh, I'll have to look up the faction, but there's like the faction in the south, and then there's the woman. I think she's technically like a queen or something, but like the mythology around her like fighting was so legendary that people associated her with like the fire goddess. Okay, so it looks like Dynasty Warriors is at least, let's see, Dynasty Warriors Empires 9 exist, and I think 10 is out. So, there you go. Liu Bei trailer for Total War 3 Kingdoms always got me emotional. Yeah, gosh, he definitely was so idealistic. Okay, so it looks like 9 came out in 2018, and that is the most recent release of a Dynasty Warriors game. I guess I'm not alone in my opinions about 5. Ooh, as of 2021, EA has lost the exclusivity rights in developing Star Wars games and the development of other projects such as Samurai Warriors 5. Koinuma reiterated both that Super Mario and Star Wars and Dynasty Warriors format as projects he personally wanted to undertake before considering retirement. No, I've never played any of the Gundam Warriors. I think part of it is like I've never had a real draw to like the Gundam style, just in general. I don't know. Mechs just never were my thing, but I appreciate people who are passionate about mechs because it is a very cool concept. It was never for me. I don't know. It feels like really detached for some reason. I'm not sure how to explain it. I know who's thinking of. There's like Zhuo Qi, who's like like the mystic. He was very cool. Oh, they don't have who I'm thinking of though. There are other characters that they're not listing, but yeah. Oh, that's disappointing. Yeah, I really liked the Dynasty Warrior series. I like the idea of something based on like historical literature, I guess. Although I think I'd feel differently about it if it were like a video game about, I don't know, Pride and Prejudice. I think that would be very different. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of the name of this faction, and it's like driving me crazy. I'm like determined to find it. Oh, I totally forgot about Mao Zedong. Is it Mao Zedong? It sounded too close to Mao Zedong. I always remembered that. Mao. I'm trying to think. It's the guy with the pole arm. And I always thought his name sounded too close to like the 20th century like Chinese leader. So I'm combining Huang Zong and Mao Chao. Oh, Mao Chao was a really hard fight in 4. That was like a throwdown because like if you start losing, he pursues you all the way across the map. Like, does not give up. It's terrifying. Oh, and I was thinking of Meng Huo. Meng Huo and Zhu Rong. Those are the two characters from like the south part of the map. Zhu Rong is the one that has like the crazy boomerang. But Zhuo Qi, I always thought was really interesting because like he's supposed to be like, because all the factions kind of have like a soothsayer, they kind of have like a mystic, but then like Zhuo Qi is like the mystic. He's the one who has like the vision for the future. I made a thing. I'm getting so distracted. But I think you guys know that. I am... looking for these little grabby guys again. I feel like Suju was a lot of people's favorites. Was that the really young guy that like fights really fast with the two like daggers? Is that who I'm thinking of? Because that's like Sue, I think. Oh, oh yeah, the big guy. He looks like kind of like a baby. I know exactly who you're talking about. He's like known for being a bit of a like a drunk, but like he's also like just really happy and just glad to be here. He does look like a big baby though. He even like falls down like one. I don't know. It's funny because it's like I've played like just such a random amalgamation of games, and it's like, well, let me just like go hard in on this game for like no reason. Okay, so we got the situation with this like Pip. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I actually think that the directions for this one aren't as clear as they have been with some of the other builds we've done. Oh, Jahudun, yeah, like the whole Jahu family is like crazy. Well, and Jahudun has such a like has a much bigger presence in 4, and but like 5 has that cutscene where he gets shot through the eye, pulls it out and eats it, and then just keeps going. Like, talk about psychological warfare. It's like, you know what? I eat my eye. Oh, Mega Terra Nova. Oh my gosh, yeah, the Dynasty Warriors games definitely had their like heyday in like the early aughts. But yeah, where he just like yanks it out and then eats it, and he's just like, ah, I'm just gonna keep, and then he just slaps an eye patch on. Oh gosh, that wasn't like Hulao Gate, was it? No, I think that was earlier. I think that was much earlier, when they were still fighting against like the Yellow Rebellion or whatever. Because, like, Jahudun was, like, tied in with Lu Bu and, like, Dao Chen. And that whole thing with Meng Huo. Was that Meng Huo? It was Meng Huo. Because that was, like, their own mess. And, like, Liu Bei never trusted him because he, like, was a, you know, would be, like, what the Chinese equivalent of, like, a Ronin. Okay, definitely did something wrong. Meng Huo is the guy in the south, and then there's oh gosh, who was the like really disgusting warlord? No, it was Deng Zhuo. Okay, yeah, not Meng Huo, Deng Zhuo. And like he's the guy who like turns out to be like such an absolute coward, and he has like Lu Bu, who is like his adopted son, like do all his dirty work, and then Lu Bu realized that like Dongzhuo was never going to respect or love him like a son, and he was just like an agent for chaos. And so like he just turned on him. So, no, that's too long. I honestly don't know what I'm looking for. There we go. And that was legit, like, that was like an actual thing that happened in history where like no one trusted Lu Bu. Like the man had no home because like no one trusted him. Okay, so it's not that. I'm looking for like a size block and I don't see it. Those are too long. So that's a 6. I did that correct. So I need some of these that are like 4, but did I stack these weird? Oh, this is a 3. What am I doing with this then? Haha. Gotta count the pips. Yeah, there we go. The flat ones are really hard to differentiate for me for some reason. Okay. That's done. Eventually we will build this TIE fighter. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's like looking like something. Oh, we get to use these like really long pieces now. I guess that connects the 2 sides. And then there should be like a little shiny one. Yeah, these guys. Does not help that I've like dumped over my like well-organized little stacks. Okay, so I think we're repeating this process on the other side. So we got another one of these. And then another one of these guys. Yeah. Like, what else could I be doing on a holiday day? Let's hang out, have some breakfast, play some Legos, talk about video games I played like 15 years ago. Now I'm feeling smarter now that I know how this goes together. Hey, unforgettable. Deadly critters all around. Just no thank you. I remember when I was little, I used to be like fascinated with that kind of stuff though. My aunt had bought me this like pop-up book and it had like the 10 deadliest animals in the world. And I remember distinctly thinking I will never visit Australia because I had it in my mind that some of this stuff was just gonna crawl up on land and get me. Cause like, think about like all the places. I think Mega Terra Nova is having far too much fun in the garden then. Gosh, I hope my garden lives this year. My little flower box garden. The problem is, like, the front of the house gets so much intense sun during the summer. I feel like everything I put outside, unless it's like, we had an Australian teacher in elementary school, and he definitely terrified us of Australia and telling us about all the creatures over there. He also convinced us drop bears were real. What's a drop bear? I don't know this. I know there are things like those like blue ringed octopuses. Those things are terrifying. That one way better the second time. Okay. Hey, look at this. Oh, I like when stuff just goes together. That was super satisfying. Drop bears are little bear creatures that drop out of trees and eat people. Any pictures of them are just wet koalas because they can look scary when wet, and almost all Australians are in on the joke of telling tourists that they are real things. Okay, I have seen like video of angry koalas and do not want. But they're also, I kind of feel like koalas are like dumb angry sometimes. Because, I mean, think about it. They've picked like the worst form of nutrition on the planet. And they only eat one kind of tree. And it's toxic to everyone. Which is either the smartest or dumbest thing possible. I do think it's kind of funny that they just have like a national prank for all tourists. Like, that's kind of fun. Okay, so we're gonna make another one of these. I feel like it's a little bit like tourists getting all like excited about the Blarney Stone and like the locals like pee on it. All right. Like this. I've been over there and kissed it, and indeed made me more eloquent. Ah, perfect. Have I once again skipped a step? No? There we go. I feel like you guys can appreciate, like, it's just black. Okay. Hey. Now we're getting somewhere. I don't know how exciting this is for everyone, but my favorite movie is being re-released in movie theaters. The Fifth Element is supposed to be in movie theaters this summer. I'm very excited for this. I know it's campy, I know it's weird, and I love it, and that's why it's my favorite movie. Some of these directions are really hard to see because it's just like what's different from the previous page. Amazing. Oh my goodness. But like, I don't think Ruby Rod is like that wildly different from some of the like social media personalities we have now. Oh my goodness. Ruby Rod. And like the stoner guy. Hey Starbreeze, welcome to the stream. We're making a TIE fighter. Talking about creepy crawlers and old video games. And I was just mentioning that I'm really excited because my favorite movie is coming back into theaters this summer. We're gonna get the 25th anniversary of The Fifth Element, and I'm super excited. So it's coming back in theaters, and I'm very excited. I hope you're having a lovely Monday. Spiders and yellow jackets and things. Lulu Dallas multi-pass is right. The scene where she's just making chicken dinner after chicken dinner. Amazing. Okay, this is actually coming together and I'm really excited. Yeah. Flipping it over. Okay. So we need these guys. I have a failed breakfast muffin. There were some egg whites in there. And actually, down here, I have blueberries. I think I just didn't add enough liquid to my muffin this morning. But it's a flaxseed muffin. It's just a little dry. I think it has like too much like swerve, which is like a sugar alcohol based like granulated stuff. But it's very cinnamony, which goes really good because I have my like hot cinnamon tea up here. I wasn't kidding when I said it was going to be blocks and breakfast, because I definitely brought breakfast. I think this needs to get pushed farther forward. I've had to use my like little tool way more times today. Just kind of easily distracted, more so than normal. So it's a little bit like a Skyrim stream. So I was telling everyone else, I'm going to figure out, I really will figure out how to do a poll on the Sunday streams so you guys can put in your ideas. I think Skyrim is going to run through the end of summer. What we do at that point, you know, you guys are very much welcome to weigh in on it, because I would like to play something you guys are interested in seeing. So I'm gonna look around in my Steam library, because I have many neglected games, and kind of look ahead to what's also coming out this year as well. This has like a lot of decorative detail I was not expecting for something made by the Empire, to be honest. Okay, flipping it back over, and then this guy. Duh, I knew that was gonna happen. That probably should have been added at a later, or at an earlier stage, I think. But maybe it's because it's wobbles. And then, oh. So there we go. That kind of makes sense. I wish there were more of the like downtown buildings to do. I haven't really found any. There's like one that's like crazy expensive. So actually, we can thank my mom for this one. Apparently she really thought the last LEGO stream was entertaining, so she sent me this one. But I kind of misplaced it for a minute and thought that I had already put it back. I had already put it together. So for next time we have the ATST. So I'm hoping maybe, I know, I have a very supportive family. So yeah. So I'm hoping maybe 4th of July. Pardon me, 4th of July. Maybe we can do the ATST. Yeah, I'm excited. Ooh, it gets complicated. Fun, fun, fun. Let's stick this under here so it doesn't get into trouble. So far we have 2 Imperial minions. Alright, so we need 4 of these guys. These 4. These 2. So we're making some kind of like weird ball jointed thing. And then I think these are extras. We're going to check those in the extras cup. Gonna need a bigger extras cup. Eventually I should just be able to make something out of this. Guess we'll just snap these guys together. And then so at the end of this stream, I'm going to attempt to stream a little bit of 7 days. I want to see how it runs while streaming and recording simultaneously. It shall be interesting to find out. Because while we kind of decide on a next adventure after our romp through Skyrim, or at least this one, I would like to see how things kind of run to get an idea of how viable they are. I think stuff like, I know that at least the Genesis 2 map for Ark just did not do well. I had a lot of jittering and a lot of drop frames, but I also know that for a game that's already not well optimized, that one in particular, that map in particular, just really kind of overclocks a lot of people's systems. So something to keep in mind. Someone had brought up Alien Isolation last night as a game that they never finished. I do own Alien Isolation. I also own like the Raft. I think I own the Forest. If I don't, it's like in my list of things to get. And then I've been looking at some of the new games that are coming out this year as well. So one in particular kind of piqued my interest. So we'll see what that's all about. I also have like Don't Starve and stuff. Ooh, the Forest. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely intense game, especially and it's, and I kind of want to play it at some point. I own it, and at some point, like, the Sons of the Forest is supposed to come out, like, now, right? Yeah, look at that. I didn't expect it to be so detailed. And we're going to make another one. Okay, it has the instruction for me to attach it. I'm not going to attach this until the other one is ready. Otherwise, I think it's just going to topple over. I'm pretty sure I own Subnautica. I know they've pushed it. I think it was supposed to come out like at the end of 21, but with world events and things. Like, it just hasn't really happened. And, you know, quite frankly, I'm more supportive of a company that's going to keep its employees safe. We can wait a minute if it means people not getting sick. So it's kind of how I feel about a lot of things. October this year. Yeah, there's another game I saw. I know I'm not saying the name right, but I made a list. So there's a really cute game. I don't know when it's coming out. It says this year, but who knows? It might be just early access this year. Is Wizard with a Gun. Looks really cute. And then the game I'm really excited about, and it says, you know, third quarter this year, which would be like, what, July to September, is Retreat to Enin. So I can read you like a little bit about it from Steam. Humanity is unrecognizable in the year 3600 CE. Centuries of war, socioeconomic strife, and the impending climate catastrophe put the apex species on the verge of extinction. Turning back from the brink, humans chose a different path, one of healing, peace, and reverence for the ecosystem they are part of. As Earth heals, every human who reaches adulthood is now tasked with learning how to become one with nature on the island of Enin. Return to Enin focuses on this rite of passage. Arrive at the legendary island to learn how to live in peaceful harmony with nature by surviving on your own, discovering the island's secrets, and mastering the art of meditation. So it's supposed to be like an open world survival crafty game, but unlike, you know, 7 Days, unlike Ark, unlike The Forest, instead of it being very intense and you kind of like at odds with nature, you're actually learning to like reconnect with nature. So still crafting, still harvesting, still surviving. But I saw in one of the kind of reviews for it is that the devs actually consulted with like counselors and like mental health professionals, looking at a game that is actually a crafting survival game that's very like life affirming, very positive. So that was super appealing to me. I've played, you know, on my main channel, I play a lot of very like chill sort of indie games. So I don't know if that's something you guys would want to do for a stream, or if that's something that you would like to see in long format on the YouTube channel. So definitely open to thoughts on that. All right, let me mute for you. Okay, here we go. Trying not to kill everybody's eardrums every time we do this. As excited as I am for Starfield supposedly coming out soon, that remains to be seen. As far as the next couple Bethesda games, I do want to like temper my excitement, only because we all know, as much as we love Bethesda stuff, it is a little glitchy. So some of those things I might just kind of let come out and happen for a minute, just to get kind of the kinks out before I like try to run anything on my computer. It would be a real shame to like start a character and like the game to tank, just because it's not super ready, not super stable. But I am looking forward to Starfield. I believe that is their, isn't that their like company slogan? Oh my. I also have, I also was just thinking, I do have some other stuff. I have Mass Effect. I have a few games that I really haven't gotten into either. That I've like never finished. Players as a bug or a feature. Bethesda, yes. I don't know if any of you have seen my shorts on YouTube, but almost all of my like Skyrim shorts carry the tag, it's a feature, not a bug. Because we have seen some weird things on stream. So, yes. So, and of course, I'm always willing to play Oblivion, and at some point, I will make a couple characters just to round out some of the stories that you simply just cannot finish in one playthrough in Skyrim. So, there are always options. So. I do have Borderlands. That's also something. I wouldn't say I'm very good at it, but I do own the like Handsome collection. So, because like, how can you say no? It's such a cool looking game. Oh, we got legs. And for anybody who has played or has seen an LP of The Forest, we have Armsy and Legsy. We're missing a head. Oh, it's in here. Common Star Wars problems. I'm missing my head. I also want to be a little more prepared for Halloween this year. Last year was my first year doing like a Halloween like spooktacular month, and this year I definitely want to go hard on Halloween. I'm sure this surprises you greatly, but Halloween is my favorite holiday. So we did some like Lovecraft things last year. I read Sleepy Hollow and some Poe and stuff. So also fun things to think about. So that's right. Also this year, I think the next DLC for Dagon comes out. That's like the walking narrative game I played. That one was really good. Absolutely gorgeous. No, that's probably my head. Very hot out there. Lucifer? Like Christopher, but Lucifer? Or lukewarm, depending on the film. Ah, you set me up. I thought you were being... Oh, that was good. Short for a stormtrooper. You know what? It's not his fault he's not a clone. Or is he? Boop. Oh, not Luke. I never thought to look, but like, is Mark Hamill short, or is it just like Leia giving him crap? He's 5'9", but Harrison and Chewie are taller, so maybe perspective. Oh, yeah. So he's kind of just like an average guy. I feel like that's the joke. Like with the Neebs Gaming guys, they always make fun of Thick for being short, but Thick's not short. I think he's like 5'10". But because like all the other guys are super tall, he just looks shorter than everyone else. So I know they tried to redo, like they tried to bring Indiana Jones like more into the future with like Curse of the Crystal Skull, but I think it's definitely a mixed bag sort of movie. But I'm genuinely excited for the next one. I saw kind of like the teaser image for it the other day, and I was like, man, I want that. That's another just amazing franchise, especially if you account for the young adventures of Indiana Jones. It was so cute. It was so, so cute. Doesn't it make you wonder if, like, Henry Sr. had, like, adventures of his own? Because he's so sassy. Like, he definitely has, like, amazing old man sass. Which just kind of makes me wonder, like, are there... Because, it takes until you're an adult to realize that, like, your parents were, like, young and hip at one point, and it's just like we just don't have the maturity to like contextualize that until we're older. I mean, not that saying that there's really anybody who could play like a young Henry Sr., just because like he's just so immortalized, like, but I don't know. It does make me wonder, especially because, like, Indy got to travel to all those countries. Indiana Jones is one of my favorite, if not the favorite, yeah. It does make me wonder, because, like, when we see Indiana Jones, when we see young Henry, like, on digs and things with Henry Sr., like, Henry Sr. was not an armchair anthropologist. Like, he was he was a historian, he went out into the world, he studied things, so it does kind of make me wonder. Ford now has the personality of Connery as the dad. Yes, he really does. So I think that kind of goes with my own thinking of like, maybe Henry Sr. had adventures we just don't know about. Especially you have to wonder about like, because Henry Sr. in his own right definitely handled the Nazis in 3, like, kind of better than everyone else. Like, he just kind of approached things with, like, a calmness. Like, he saw some stuff. Like, he obviously, because I'm pretty sure we see Indiana Jones, like, young Indy, like, in the Spanish, in the, doesn't he, like, fight in the Spanish-American War and then in World War I? I could be wrong. But yeah, like, there is definitely a certain Sean Connery, especially in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. We kind of see him getting a little more surly, a little more set in his ways. My back hurts, you know. These knees don't, like, bounce back from falling quite like they used to. It also makes me wonder a little bit about young Marion, too. Because, like, Indy could not have been the only, like, academic that she encountered, like, as a young woman. So I don't get lost, so like I did last time. Let's do some of these steps for both halves at the same time. All right. Okay, we got our little grabby hands. Are we missing? Oh, nope, it's just upside down. I don't know why I struggled with the grabby hands last time, but I definitely did. I don't know, guys. Today could also be a long walk kind of day. I don't think it's supposed to be very hot. This is, like, ridiculous. We have had, like, a day that was 103. And then we also had, like, 70-degree weather. This is the most mild, like, Memorial Day I can ever remember having living out here. I'm not going to complain. It's just kind of shocking. Usually, like, we're laying on the couch and, like, the AC is at full tilt, so I'll take it. If you guys could pick, like a known artifact of the ancient world for Indiana Jones to go in search of, what would you want to see? And like adult or senior Indy, like even if it was something he sought as a kid. Like, part of me thinks, like, seeking out the Rosetta Stone would be really cool. Another part of me is, like, it'd be cool if there was, like, some hidden secret of, like, like the terracotta soldiers, like that would be amazing too. Yeah, we're getting there. This feels a little less alien now that I've already done this one. The original 10 Commandment tablets. But like, I thought like they're like that's what was supposed to be like I thought that's what the sands were in like the Ark of the Covenant and Raiders of the Lost Ark. I thought it was just like the tablets have been like deteriorated by time, and that's what the sand was. Guys, I'm getting so excited now that I kind of know what this is going to look like, I think. But we don't know that for sure. Supposedly they were stolen. Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess I just kind of took it at face value, but I think it's like one of those things where it's like, because I grew up watching Indiana Jones, I think in some ways I have like a child's memory of it, even though I've seen it I've seen all of them dozens of times as an adult. I never really thought about that. I guess like It's kind of the same way with the Shankara stones and Temple of Doom. It's like, we don't know where all of them are, that there are more than just the ones that fit in those alcoves in that village. I'm gonna have to pick like more brightly colored projects to do in the future, because some of these Star Wars ones are really hard to see on camera. I even like went through and like manually fixed my white balance today, because normally like the only thing my camera picks up is my face cam, and I just have like my picture. Turn my wrist around because don't have a second face cam. But oh, you can see my chewy bow. That was a gift from Mr. B when we first started dating, and it's definitely been like re-sewn and glued back together several times now. That's so cute. I actually have like an 8-bit one. I don't normally wear it for like streams and stuff because it's super heavy. I should sometime though. Oh, that's right. The Chewbacca bows are hard to find. I feel like there's definitely some like pre-Disney stuff that's just, you're just not going to be able to find it anymore. I've seen like people on Etsy kind of make their own. These little guys. Second side is always easier. She must have news for me. It's getting there. I'm sorry it doesn't look like much. It really is just very dark. I actually tried to get my white balance better today. I grabbed an envelope and like kind of used that just so it look better, but yeah. Alright. We're coming down to it. Then I'll take a short break and I will get the computer set up to do, you know, something to, so we can kind of see if 7 days will run and go from there. Flipping it over. I don't know why I keep flipping it over. There's more things to do here. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good too, Mega Terra Nova. Like I said, I actually wasn't expecting so much detail on like an Imperial ship. Not exactly known for their aesthetics, you know? Such a weird piece. Okay. And then this gets kind of secured with these guys. Okay. Go ahead and pop this guy in the middle. And we're going to stick that under there just for now until we build the like last bit of trim. There are many warnings about the projectiles, which I find extremely funny for some reason. Oh, this one is not. I guess that's right. No, it's not. There we go. And the short sides go like this. Whoa, hey. I think it does look pretty good. So, and like several of the other Star Wars items, we have some some projectiles. We have like the little torpedoes, but we will put those in a safe place because someone will definitely lose an eye. And I will post more pictures of these guys on Instagram like last time. Okay, so we have our little pilot inside. And there we are. It's very, very cool. What do you guys think? I think this was a great project. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I am going to take a little tea break and I'm going to get us set up to give 7 days a shot to see if it runs okay. You are in favor of more LEGO streams. Well, I am happy to comply. Like I said, I think the next chance I'm going to get will probably be July 4th. Because it's a holiday, I will try to get up and get streaming early, especially if people do have plans. Yeah, I think, and you're right, Mega Terranova, I think this is a great collection. This is a great addition to my collection. Alright guys, give me a few minutes and I will be back. Alright guys, let's see how this goes. Hey! Let me know if you can hear and see okay. Whoa, hey guys. Okay. Alright, so this is kind of just the vanilla world. Are you guys seeing this okay? Does it sound okay? Ooh, that is very fast. So we might have to slow that down. Now, this is not necessarily like the character I would play if we decide to do this. We do have a town up here, which could be good or bad. Who knows? Towns are resources. Ooh, but we do have some things. Okay. Okay, look good, Mega Terranova? Okay. So we'll give this a couple minutes. We'll see how this runs. There's a chicken. We'll see how this runs for a little bit. And then I'm actually kind of curious to see if I can run a single player ARC game. If I do like a non-dedicated, can I run it without problems? Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do this. We're just going to kind of run through the tutorial real quick and see how we do. Dyersville. Okay, so actually, I have built in Dyersville before. I think everybody has. I think it's kind of where you spawn. We've already got some zombies. Can we... Nope. I always forget. It's like, no, it's not really Minecraft rules, so... Alright, thankfully it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's not too bad. We got some buns. If you guys have never played 7 Days, I will make some recommendations. So I haven't been playing that long, but I can tell you I have watched more 7 Days LPs than anyone should ever admit to. And if you are starting in the vanilla game, I am going to introduce you to the absolute best starting game location you can find. So I think most people start in or near Dyersville. I think that's just kind of how the game works. You want cotton. There's someone behind me. Yeah, there she is. I always think that she looks like Leanne from King of the Hill. Okay. This is not the side of Dyersville that I want to be on, but that's okay. I think the POIs are actually kind of randomized, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and put this crack-a-book on our... Okay, we're gonna put that on our list. What we are actually looking for is it's like a Home Depot. It is absolutely the best POI you can find early game for making a base. And I'll tell you why. So like Home Depot, it's got like, I think it's called like a, well, you know, we got a jumper. It's got a, you know, storefront, which of course is full of loot and things. But, okay, let's regain some stam. Oh, okay. That guy's bad news. Because he can run. Thankfully, it's daytime. So we are looking for a bridge. I think we want to go this way. No? I should be looting. Right now I'm just kind of punching. We also want to get a bunch of cotton. Cotton is how you make fabric. Cotton also makes good bed stuff. But there should be a bridge that leads out of town. Nope, that's a house. So instinct will tell you hunker down in a house. No. Houses have too many vulnerabilities. There, we got a rock. We want that guy. So the tool shop has a garden center that is really great for kind of your first horde night or two. Yes, this is what we want. Here we go. So I know some of the POIs are randomized, some of them are standard. We're gonna have to clear the place out, but first, loot every bird's nest. Until later game, you cannot make arrows without feathers. Now I believe when you get the steel arrows, they are real world like, so you can make them out of polymer. Okay, let's get ourselves a primitive bow. We need... We can make like none. We're gonna make ourselves a club. Currently that's all I am using in my current game. But we're gonna want to get up to that roof. Okay. Stone. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some frame shapes here. Nice. Okay. So, one thing I didn't know is that with, I believe with Alpha 10, you now have far more frame shapes. If you're definitely like more of an arc person, you're going to be kind of blown away by this. But your frame shapes, you can just make into things. And as a rule, generally you should not have the bottom ladder. Oh, I need to make a plate. The zombies, they cannot hop up to ladder spaces from the ground, but you can. So, okay. So holding down R, you can hit your advanced rotation. And you can pick all the directions. So you can jump up and you won't run into your own ladder here. So we might, yeah, we got a couple walkers up here. That's okay. We'll just... Oh, shoot. Alright, so we might have to fight a little bit. That's okay. What I am going to do is we are going to set down our bedroll here. So, I think I've mentioned before, I don't really know how this would play with a controller because there are just so many menus. I am sure it is possible. I am probably just not the gamer you want to show you that. Okay, we're gonna have to fight some... Okay. Oh, I forgot. Vultures are a thing. And they suck. Okay. Okay, we're going to stay away from that guy until we can recover some stam. Okay, the bald guy is tough at every level. Okay, you don't want to fight these guys together. Okay. Okay, we are going to make a bunch of cloth, or at least as much as we can. I think we need some stone if we're going to harvest these guys. Okay, we are getting some feathers, which is great. There we go, we got some bones. Your bone knife is going to be your friend early game. Okay, here we go. Can we make a bone knife yet? Nope, we need 3 more bones. Well, we are going to get some nitrate, but we are going to need some bones. Woo, we got bones, look. There we go. Your bone knife will let you harvest animals more efficiently. Okay, we got another one. So once you find like a cook pot, okay, we want to block this off. All right. So, starting out, if you are like me and slept on this game for way too long and are just now starting 7 days, this POI is your best bet. POI is a point of interest. Took me a while to figure that one out too. But before we get going too far, we need stone and we need more. See, we got buddies down here. We don't want any of that. Loot everything when you're getting started. Stuff not super close to your base. I am going to need to put down a lamb claim block. That does help with some zombie spawns. Ooh, I am out of stam. Okay. Power attack is good. Power attack really depletes your stamina though. Okay. So nitrate is good later for farming. Okay. There we go. This stone axe will also be like hugely helpful. It's a little bit like arc where you just really need it. So yeah. So your land claim block, if you're playing PvP, it kind of establishes your territory. When you're playing PvE, like I am, it actually does reduce some of your zombie spawns. Good info to know. Also, unlike garbage and things, you do not want to break the nest. Garbages, you can break those and it's okay because they'll respawn eventually. It just takes longer with okay. We don't have the stuff to break this down yet, but that's okay. Okay. And we certainly are not skilled enough. Okay. Right. And it does all automatically dress you, which is nice. You don't have to like find the right slot. So something else that's really important and something to keep in mind, sources of water. You start off with this guy. We're going to go ahead and hold on to it just for a little bit. We want to be able to build a fire so that we can boil water. You cannot drink water without it being boiled. You will get dysentery. You do not want dysentery. So, Oregon Trail rules. So we are going to try to clear this out. I'm going to place a land claim block, and then we'll kind of see what else. There we go. You can sneak. You can see your visibility in the lower corner there. See, we should be able to get some. Oh no, I was hoping for some charred meat. Looks like we're only going to get some spoiled meat. Sunset is different. It is at 10. So sunset and night are different. It is a little bit different from. Okay, this guy's kind of a butt. Okay. Okay. It's just best to kite them out if you can. Do not fight them in small spaces if you do not have to. I don't know why, but I'm less fearful of fighting zombies as I was fighting dinosaurs. Okay, so he is faster. But so far we haven't gotten scratched bad enough for it to be a concern. So stamina in our server game. Oh, my club's broken. Well, we're just gonna have to hit him with something else now, aren't we? There we go. There is a reason that a lot of people just kind of specialize in club. It's early tech. It works really well. Kind of like how a lot of people, like myself, favor the bow in Skyrim. There's a reason to favor the club early game. Scrapping is super easy. You can do it in your inventory. Okay, you can kind of hear them. They also might be out in the garden area. Oh. All right. I don't know who's hitting what out here, but so the bald orange ones and the guys with the green hoodies are some of the hardest to fight, especially early on. Okay, so we now have an empty jar. That's good stuff to have. What is it? It's 2 o'clock. Can't tell if they're in the back or if they're over. Oh, outside. I don't know why. I know all the zombies have like names and stuff, like officially, but a lot of them kind of read like some characters like from King of the Hill and that kind of thing, so. Okay. So we're running, looks like we're running okay here. No drop frame, so I'm down with that. So murky water, you can boil. Oh, we got a proper hunting knife. Now we're cooking with heat. Actually, we're not because we don't have a fire yet. But loot everything. Oh, okay. Yucca, so like it's kind of like a agave, I guess. Oops. Excuse me. Does not require boiled water to actually, you just need an empty jar to make it. You don't need, there we go. You literally don't need anything for it to work, which is really nice. A lot of things you need boiled water or, where are you? Okay. So let's actually get set up upstairs. Now, goldenrod you can drink. You can make goldenrod tea if you get like dysentery. You can eat honey if you have a low-level zombie infection, which is a very common thing to get. You're kind of just, oh, is this a crawler? Oh, these guys are the worst. They're so gross. Oop. And they can crawl on stuff, so not like the bee's knees. I feel like these are the guys you have to watch out for the most. Okay, what's our wood situation? Okay, let's go knock down a tree. We also want to cover up the hole that leads into the first floor because they will jump through that. They can actually climb on those shelves. So Minecraft rules, you can basically knock over wood with wood. You can chop stone with wood. It makes a lot of sense. So we're going to have to build another one of these because the game says so. So we're gonna scrap this one, we'll scrap this one. And encumbrance, you kind of have like a standard number of slots unless you have like a, unless you actually have like a mod that starts you with something else, like that's just kind of it. So we don't need to do anything advanced there. So I think we want to build one more ladder. So 1, 2, and we can go 3. We're going to build another plate. Again, the plate lets you not knock into the bottom of your steps, but it also prevents zombies from following up your own ladders because unlike dinosaurs, zombies can climb stuff. Now, because we have this, we can upgrade to wood now. One thing I do like is 7 days kind of rewards basically every play style. If you're a crafter, if you're a homesteader, you're rewarded for it. If you are a melee fighter, you're rewarded for it. If you're an archer, you're rewarded for it. And I appreciate that. I feel like some games kind of punish you for certain kinds of styles. Where it's like, okay, yeah, it's an open world, you can choose your own fate, but like, no, not really. Okay, so it wants us to pick up stone. It's going to want us to build a fire, which is extremely convenient. Because we need to do that. Hey, there were rocks in that one. Sometimes you'll pick up garbage, and it's actually really useful stuff, and then sometimes it's garbage. So as soon as we find a cook pot, we can start boiling some eggs. Okay, obviously wood is not going to be the be-all, is not going to be the be-all end-all for us. I might have to go one more ladder. Nope. Yeah, I guess I will. Fall damage is real. Be careful. Looks like something to add to the wish list. Yeah, it's a good game. It definitely is a problem-solving game. Definitely, I mean, obviously, resource management. The biggest thing that you're going to deal with is hunger early on. It is not kind about that. Okay. All the way up. Okay. We can actually make a little bit of cobblestone. I think we need... Whoop. I think we actually need 10 to like reinforce this. The zombies won't get through the first night with this being made out of cobblestone, but it's really important that you get things set up so that like... Okay. Shapes. Okay. Now, I will say, leave at least one of these, something that you can remove, because you are going to want to come down and like harvest that. Okay, there's a lot of hidden panels in the game. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up our bedroll, but I think for now we should be okay not to fall down there. So 5 o'clock, first day. Let's go ahead and take care of this. Duct tape. Just as important as in the real world. There we go. We have claimed our land. I would highly discourage the overuse of things like torches and campfires in excess. It just makes the zombies want to come for you more. Let's go ahead. We're gonna build some kind of storage box. Yeah. And we'll set this guy down. It takes a minute to get used to the ladders, but I actually think they're some of the best ladders I've seen in a survival game. So, something to think about. So, save your eggs, save your feathers. So the zombies will continue to attack this location for a while, but you can fortify this. We just finished day 42's Horde Night, still using the same POI for a base, and it's been fine. So you do need to fortify and stuff, but it is possible to. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and build a campfire. All right. Well, I am going to exit out, and let's just go ahead and see what else works. I know we had some problems with Genesis, but now that I've seen that 7 days runs okay, I am kind of curious to see how Arc does on a non-dedicated. So maybe if we're running it from my computer and not from a and if it's, then, you know, if it's glitchy, then it's glitchy. But I want to know what all of our possibilities are before I make a poll saying, hey, what game do you guys want to play next? But we do know that some of the days run pretty well. I didn't have any drop frames. I don't even have a cooling pad under my laptop right now, so we shall see. I did open up Ragnarok just to see what it looks like. I've never played, but I'm thinking that we would probably do either the island or the center. Just something to think about. I didn't tweak any of the settings. I just want to hop in and see what this looks like. So. Hey, well, there we go. That's the Bungeoneer. Okay, now I know jungles are not great. We're gonna try Viking Bay number 1. And I actually use, for my survival games, I use the Bungeoneer because it's a combination of Bun, which is my nickname from Mr. B, and Engineer. So let's see if she loads. Hey, we got some Listros. This is a good sign. Okay. It's not looking good, guys. Yep. That's a no-go on the arc. I spent one time working on Alright. I spent one time working out my character, and then that's it. Okay, so this is reduced from epic quality. It's not pretty. And then okay, and then this is medium. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Well, we got Dillos. Oof. Oof. Oh, it's so ugly. Oh my goodness. That's what low looks like? Oh god, that's so bad. Yeah, it's pretty jumpy. Like I said, it is a notoriously okay, yeah. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like. It's so ugly. Oh my goodness. Just kind of looking at what else we have here. Okay, and then on Epic. All right. Now my computer is getting warm. That's because I don't have the pad under it. I just kind of like moved it because I didn't want to like totally tank the stream. Okay. I have a bunch of Amnesia games I haven't played. I have Borderlands. Let's see what I have actually installed. So I have Borderlands installed. And then we do have Alien Isolation. I do have Plague Tale, which I've tried to avoid watching. We have Close to the Sun. We have Dead by Daylight, which is a group game, but it's still something that we have. I also have a new game. I'll have to tinker with it, called Insurmountable. And it's like a dwarf, I don't know, mountaineering game. And I also just picked up City of Brass. Yeah. So. Well, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I will install Alien Isolation because it did come up. And perhaps at the end of next Sunday's stream, we'll kind of do the same thing where we'll test it out and see how it runs. Because, I mean, yeah, there's lots of fun games out there, but if it's not pleasurable to watch, why play it? You know what I mean? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and staying, you know, a little bit over to see what kind of shenanigans I have managed to get into. Yeah, so like I said, I believe the next stream we're gonna do for Legos will be, I'm planning on July 4th, and then of course we'll be streaming Skyrim next Sunday per usual. And like I said, once we get to the end of next week's Skyrim stream, we'll go ahead and hop into Alien Isolation and just see how it runs. Because it looks like 7 Days is running just fine. It is a little bit more optimized. It's a different framework of a game altogether, even though it looks very similar to Ark. 7 Days is basically like a cube game, which is why it runs the way it does, which is nice. Also, I do not believe the chunks are loaded in. I don't know what else to call it other than that, but the chunks aren't loaded in quite so close or quite so far away, so like you can really control how much a biome loads and doesn't. So alright guys, well, enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day if you're here in the US, and otherwise enjoy your Monday. Yeah, this was a great bit of fun, and I appreciate you coming out. Alrighty guys, as always, take care and happy sipping. Bye, guys.